So this happened when I was a junior in high school. My friend Gina lived in this old house she inherited from our mom. The kind of house that creaks even when you walk softly. The basement was probably the creepiest part. Even during the day, the lights flew off and there was a smell that was hard to describe. It's like a damn wood mixed with dust and something metallic. One rainy Friday night, a few of us were hanging out there. Gina casually mentioned that she still had her sister's Ouija board in the basement. We laughed at first and I thought it was all stupid. But after a while, someone said, "Why not try it?" I think it was boredom more than anything else. We set it up in the center of the basement and lit a candle. The circle we made wasn't perfect, but it felt serious enough that you couldn't laugh at it. At first, nothing happened. We asked dumb questions like, who's going to fail math next semester? Does Chris like someone? It was all jokes until Gina asked seriously, is anyone there? The planchette moved to yes. We all froze. No one admitted to moving it. I remember the feeling of my stomach dropping, my hands getting sweaty, and then we asked, "What's your name?" "M-A-R-Y. Ask Mary who? D-O-N-T. One of the candles flickered and went out. I remember the air felt heavier, almost like it was pressing down on us. None of us laughed anymore. We said goodbye and packed up the board and left. A few weeks later, Gina told me her mom's mirror had shattered overnight and her dog refused to go near the basement. Honestly, I haven't gone back to the house. Even thinking about that night makes my stomach twist. So this happened when I was 16. During that weird age where you're old enough to think you're brave, but young enough to still get spooked by your own shadow. My uncle had just bought this house on the edge of town, not old enough to be historic, but old enough that the floors had personalities and the rooms had giraffes that didn't make sense. He asked me and my cousin Mickey to help clean out the garage. The previous owners apparently left behind half their lives. We're talking boxes of faded Christmas decorations, old lawn tools, a rusted bike missing both tires, the usual "we'll pick it up later," the junk that no one ever returns for. We were sorting through a tower of boxes when something slid down behind them. With a dull wooden sound, we pulled everything back and that's when we found it, a Ouija board. Not the plastic Hasbro one. This one looked handmade, thin, warped wood. Letters carved like someone took their time with it. Even the old planchette was this weird wooden triangle with a cracked glass center. I remember holding it and feeling weird, not scared, just like it had weight to it that wasn't physical. Mikey joked, "Bro, this looks cursed as hell," and we laughed it off. But later that night, after my uncle went to bed, the house got quiet. That stupid board kept popping back in our heads, and curiosity won. We went back to the garage around midnight. It was cold, colder than the inside of the house. The only light was the flashlight we set between us. We sat cross-legged on the concrete and put the board between us. We didn't start with the usual "is anyone here?" We were messing around asking random nonsense like, "Are there any ghosts who wants to roast us?" Nothing. "What year did you die?" Nothing. Then Mikey half serious said, "If someone is here, give us a sign." The flashlight flickered once, sharp and sudden. We both froze. The air felt heavy, like the oxygen thinned for a second. Then the planchette moved to H. Hesitated. Then I. Not a dramatic slide, more like this slow, deliberate shift, like someone was pushing it with one finger. We both whispered stop at the exact same time. We said goodbye, probably too fast and definitely not respectful, and shoved the board back behind the boxes. We sprinted inside. My uncle called my mom 2 days later, complaining about the garage motion sensor lights going off every night, always between 2 and 3 a.m. He thought it was the raccoons getting in, but the door is sealed, and there's nothing inside that moved. We never told him about the board, but every time I think about that high, I get this weird feeling like someone wasn't greeting us, just announcing they were already here. This happened during my second year of college, in a dorm that was older than any campus building needed to be. The kind of old where every radiator bangs like someone's trapped inside trying to get out. My roommate Theo had this habit of grabbing random stuff left in the common room. Chargers, half-used notebooks, a backpack once, and one night he came in holding a flimsy Ouija board. "Dude, look what someone left," he said like he found treasure. We weren't drunk, we weren't high. We were just bored, so we set it up on the floor between our beds. His girlfriend Lily joined because she thought she could debunk the whole thing. She was a psychology major and loved explaining everything in terms of subconscious impulse. Lit a single candle on top of a textbook, don't judge, and put our fingers on the planchette. At first it didn't move. We asked dumb questions trying to spook each other. Then Theodore said, "Alright, seriously, if someone's here, what's your name?" The planchette shifted, slow, too slow to feel faked. Z-O. I swear the temperature in the room dropped, not dramatically, just that it felt like goosebumps raised on my arm. Vivi stopped and smiled. "I don't like this," she whispered. I recognized the name immediately. I read stories online, warning mostly. I pulled my hands away. End it now. We said goodbye, blew out the candles, no jokes, no laughing. That's when tapping started. It wasn't loud, more like coming from the corner where the board laid. Theodore brushed it off. "Old pipes, this building is a fossil." But the tapping wasn't rhythmic like the pipes do. It was hesitant, irregular, like something was testing the sound or the distance. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I drift off, that tapping would start again. Just slow enough to make me question if I'm imagining it. Update. The craziest part wasn't even my experience. 2 days later, Ivy came over, looking genuinely shaken. She said she'd woken up the night before around 4 a.m. and saw this tall shadow standing at the foot of Theodore's bed. She thought it was him at first until she realized Theodore was sleeping behind her. When she blinked, the shadow didn't move. It didn't vanish. It just stayed there, like it was watching both of them. She moved out the next week. I packed the Ouija board and threw it in a storage box under my bed. And I swear, this is true. Sometimes when I'm trying to sleep, I hear that slow tapping under the mattress. I tell myself it's the frame settling, but the tapping always comes from the same place, right where the board is.